So you hinted about the research paper that you wrote. This is the demographic trilemma. So can you tell us what that trilemma is and what choices do nations have?
I wrote in my last book, Tomorrow's People, about the trilemma, and then I did a TED talk that explained it. At the end of the TED talk, I wrapped it up. And essentially, the idea is that we have a choice between three things, and for shorthand, I call them the three E's. So ethnic homogeneity, economic growth, and egotism. Call egotism a shorthand for small families. If you want small families and economic growth, you've got to have mass immigration or your dependency ratio to get out of whack. That's what I call the UK solution. If you want ethnic homogeneity and small families, you end up like Japan with an economy that becomes less and less of a share of the world's economy. I mean, I remember when Japan was the land of the rising sun and had a growing economy. It's had 30 years of very low growth and rising government debt. And the fact that Japan's got the high 250% of GDP as government debt is quite shocking, actually, well higher than anywhere else and related to its demography. And then the only other solution is Israel, where you've got high fertility and economic buoyancy without the need for mass immigration. A country of immigrants, Israel now has below OECD average immigration. It doesn't need immigration to keep its economy going. So what I did with Philip Pilkington was to model this. So actually say, all right, if we take the UK as it is at the moment, and we say we want to keep the dependency ratio, the balance of retired and non-retired, but we don't fix the fertility rate, in fact, it continues to drift down, how much immigration will we need? And the answer was, by sometime in the 2080s, half the population will be first generation immigrant. In other words, we'll have to be shipping people in on a massive level. Now, I know you're from Poland. I have a view, if you look at the Polish fertility rate on the one hand, and the rapidly narrowing wage levels between us and Poland, if British people think we can still ship in Poles in the way we've done the last 20 or 30 years to do so much of the work in the economy, we're kidding ourselves. So more and more countries will be going low fertility, we'll lose our economic edge, and we'll find it harder and harder to recruit immigrants, and we'll have to recruit them from the few remaining countries with high fertility rates where they'll be quite unproductive because they won't have been well educated. So I don't think that's a direction we want to go into. And the second way, the Japanese way, is to say, okay, we'll just stop immigration, which some people argue for, but we won't fix our fertility rate. Just how bad will our dependency ratio go? And unsurprisingly, we'll get to the Japanese levels before very long. And, good luck. Let's hope our government, in those circumstances, is able to borrow up to 250% of the per capita GDP. We've struggled at around 100%, as Liz Truss saw. So I'm not sure that that's even a financially workable, viable solution. And the only solution, therefore, is to raise your fertility rate. And obviously, whilst I'm trying to be impartial and say there are these three choices, I'm clearly indicating my own preferred choice. I think the others are disastrous. And that is to say to people who don't like immigration, or people who think we could turn it off overnight, maybe we should focus on immigration for economic purposes and workforce. There's a lot of other immigration. But ultimately, unless the people of these islands from all backgrounds, all races, all religions, unless we in this very multi-ethnic country of ours are able to reproduce ourselves, we're either going to have endless mass immigration or we're going to have real labour problems.